We are live on YouTube. This is the Rich Lieberman Media Pulse for Tuesday. And, I don't have to say anything about what you are all watching. Well, not all of you, but most of you are watching on the television. That has to do, of course, with I don't know, do you want to still call them the protests now? They've become more violent. There's more, shall we say, you've seen smoke bombs and fireworks lobbed at cops, lobbed at the National Guard, military, all this stuff that's taking place. And it sets the tone for what could be a very volatile summer of 25. You saw this coming. Call me naive, but here's my deal. They get into this mode, they being media folks, MSNBC, CNN, Fox News Channel, various other ancillary networks, cable outlets, streaming companies, and it's all now Dateline Los Angeles. You have all these, again, this is the narrative, but it is the true narrative. They all start out, yes, of course they do, peaceful, daytime, marching, shouting, albeit peaceful. And then as it gets closer to afternoon, late afternoon and dark, then you have the thugs, the black ops, as they call themselves, the Antifa crowd, who all they are in the mood for is to create trouble. You saw some looting last night. There was a lot of damaging things taking place, graffiti. They're throwing, tablets. The cops engage. Now, all the other networks have their own predictable, I keep saying this word, predictable commentary. CNN, they're trying to be objective, but they're not. Fox News Channel, it's all their predictable slant. And they zoom in on, does their cameras, the bit of trouble, and then it gets worse and worse. And of course, there's trouble everywhere. Last night, you had looting, you had wholesale violence taking place, and it's something of its own trouble. And of course, MSNBC, and they all have a particular slant, generally way left. I don't like lumping these folks all together, but they all have their own agenda. And what their responsibility is to cover this. I know we're all human. We all have our opinion. It would be crazy if we didn't have an opinion. But their responsibility, first and foremost, is to report what is taking place. I mentioned these cable outlets. They all have a mind of their own, and they all have their own commentators, their own panels who go into their own predictable commentaries. And CNN, I just said they're trying to be objective, but they're not. And they have shows, and they're double screening their own shows with what is taking place in downtown Los Angeles. Fox News, same thing. They're a lot more alarmist. I mean, Sean Hannity was out and out ridiculous last night. He was. I know, as do you, that Sean Hannity has his own agenda and he's going to talk about various things, most of which are true, but to completely go on and on and on and drone on about it, for God's sakes, we know what's happening. Cover the news, MSNBC, CNN, Fox News Channel. Instead, we get all these side shows, so to speak, and today would be day 5. It all started over the weekend, and it's going to be a lot more volatile. You see these so-called, this is the thing, that irritates me too. They talk all about these Antifa guys. There's some women too. And yes, they do dress up in all black. And yes, they do come, most of them prepared with, uh, masks and explosives that they're carrying. They come with weed blowers. Why? So they can blow away the tear gas and all that. Why don't we hear more about these guys? Am I missing something here? So I'm look, I've largely gave praise to mostly CNN and these other folks for providing pretty accurate visual coverage. But I would like to see a little bit more depth. I would like to see a little bit more, shall we say, stories behind what's happening. Like talking about these so-called black ops. How are they allowed to continue to go on and spew their violence? Why don't we know more about these guys? And why, Fox News, do you concentrate on your own particular hell-bent agenda? Talk to more cops. Try to get a sit down with the chief of police in LA. Uh, Otherwise, we don't learn anything. We see what's taking place. We understand that these guys, like I keep saying, they have sort of their own predetermined political slant. And they lose focus of the immediate stories too at hand. I'd like to see more of that and not these just, well, let's join what's going on at 4 o'clock and wait until nightfall. And so we could start showing the looting, the mayhem, the fireworks, the crap being thrown at the cops and other law enforcement, and then take our customary 10-minute breaks. That's not coverage. That's not comprehensive coverage. Hell, that's not even minimal coverage. And I hate to see this. I think it's very lazy and it's very sloppy. I'd like to see more structured coverage. I'll be right back a little later. Thanks for watching.